Right now, inside of you, there is a version that is so much stronger than what you can imagine. But it's only up to you to unlock that version of yourself. And I learned a lot about this from reading the book that Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And he talks about the battles that he's gone through in his life and how he overcame them. And it all came down to his mind. The mind is extremely powerful. And David, he went through a lot of stuff in his life, from having a messed up father, from going into the Navy SEALs, and he had to lose 100 pounds in just 3 months to even get qualified to go into the Navy SEALs. That's crazy, very crazy, and he did it because he didn't let the battle of his mind control him. Because sometimes when we're exercising and we're going extremely hard, your mind wants you to quit. You get that inner voice. We all have that inner voice sometimes, and it's telling us, just stop, take a break, or just don't do it at all. Don't feel like doing it. You have to train your mind to become immune to pain, because in order to even grow as a person and take that new level to unlock that potential that you have to go through those experiments and trials and errors to get to that point where you want to be. And you have to constantly improve, because the truth is, you're never going to really be the best version of yourself, because there's no such thing as perfection. You're always going to have flaws, and that's what makes us human beings in the first place, for having flaws. But in order for you to really become that next version of yourself, you're going to have to get comfortable doing things that you never wanted to do. You know, for me, for a very long time, I couldn't really talk to a female like that. I was extremely scared, and I was like this too, especially before NoFap. And even when I was doing NoFap, and I'm still am to this day, I was extremely kind of nervous to talk to girls and things like that. I didn't have that confidence in myself, but I started to change my mindset. I started really taking care of myself even better. And like now, I have more experience in that part of my life, but that's really not something that I'm really chasing. I'm chasing my goals. I'm chasing things that really matter to me right now in my life, rather than just a female. But you know, that's the key. They always say the key of winning this battle of life is being uncomfortable in situations that you don't want to be in. And that is extremely true. Sometimes you might have times where you really don't want to do something, but it may end up being one of the best decisions you ever make in your life. And I was reading a book, this book right here. And in one of the chapters, he talks about how he was broke at the time and he was poor, living off his friend's couch. And he said, and he was also a blogger during that time, and he was going to school. But he said during that time of failure and during that time where he was poor, that was probably one of the best times of his life, because he became immune to hardship and what the battle of life is. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to just give you something for free. Nobody owes you anything. The only person that you owe something to is yourself, and that's to be the best version of yourself. You can't live life expecting the outcome just to come already. You have to put in that work. You have to be willing to do things that you're extremely afraid of doing. And, from experience speaking this, of doing it, you feel so much better after you do it as well. It's just a different feeling that you have, but you can only improve from that point on. You can't just settle in and quit there, or say, hey, I did it, I'm done. No, you have to keep going and going and going and going. Because in order for you to think about it, when you're scared, you may view being scared as something really bad, but it's actually a really good thing to have. You have to make being afraid your best friend. That's why when you accomplish that goal of overcoming your fear of something that you never want to do for your entire life, and you finally have the guts to do it, you feel free, right? Like you've actually, accomplished something that's so big. That's why when you're afraid and you take that next step of doing something that you always wanted to do, that being scared is going to actually be your best friend. Because think about this for an example. You have 2 years to get over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And if you don't get that, then your parents are going to make you get a real job, and they're going to kick you out of their house. That's going to make you work 10 times harder, because you don't want that to happen to yourself. You're going to invest in so much time on improving your channel, improving your video editing. You're going to spend more time on thumbnails. You're going to be doing everything to work extra harder. That's why you can't really never be settle in situations, because once you're settled in, then you're not going to work as harder. That's why when you're scared, you're going to work 10 times harder than you ever did before. So don't view being scared as something that is going to hold you back. View being scared as something that you can actually grow upon. You know, when you're scared, your senses are boosted, everything in your body is boosted, and you're going to work 10 times harder to accomplish that goal. Tyson is a great example of this because he used fear as one of his biggest assets. He talks about in a video that I watch, you know, he's walking down the ring. You know, he's afraid of the opponent who's in the ring. He's afraid of being humiliated. He's putting in so many hours of training to beat this guy who's in the ring. But as soon as he's getting closer to the ring, his confidence is growing. And is growing. Once he gets into the ring, he's a god. He used fear as an asset to defeat his opponents. And that's why he became one of the greatest world champions in boxing. It goes back with your mindset. You know, if you have negative thoughts, then that's the way that you're going to perceive things. But if you create a positive outlook on life and you're grateful for everything that you have, and you use some of these assets that are considered bad to your advantage, you can unlock one of the best versions of yourself. So, you know, look at the outcomes and the things that's happened in your life. Look at those things as experience to grow as a person, because that's the only key of actually improving as a person. Learning from those past mistakes and improving from that point on. And use fear as one of the biggest motivating things to accomplish more. It all goes back with your mindset. You know, if you have negative thoughts, then that's the way that you're going to perceive things. But if you create a positive outlook on life and you're grateful for everything that you have, and you use some of these assets that are considered bad to your advantage, you can unlock one of the best versions of yourself. So, you know, look at the outcomes and the things that's happened in your life. Look at those things as experience to grow as a person. We're both on this self-improvement journey together. We're going to be accomplishing all of our goals. We're going to be doing things in our life that we thought we would never do. Remember, be the best version of yourself.